welcome. We're going to talk about, again, means of egress. This is part 5 of our session into means of egress. What we're going to end up doing here is learn a little bit about stairs and other adjoining intervening rooms. So we're going to kind of start with adjoining or intervening rooms. It's encourage an exit access. We've been talking about access ways, but this is a exit access is as direct as possible, but some projects may require an access path to pass through an adjoining room or space before reaching a corridor. Can you think of any? Allows us small rooms adjoining larger spaces exit through. So a lot of times you can find that in different types of buildings, and you have to go through another space to be able to get to a larger space that may end up having, of course, the exits that are required. You can see, of course, in our textbook, of course, we have some that show this where we're walking through. If we end up having, of course, exit here, or you may end up having to walk through another space to get to an exit, or a bridging of spaces. So it's mainly just walking. If there was no exit here, that means, or no exit here, you would have to walk through this room to get to this room to get to the exit. So that's what it's referring to. Okay, it allows, of course, smaller rooms adjoining larger spaces to exit through the large room, and code restricts some spaces to be intervening rooms, rooms that may not be locked. Sometimes you see on a building, a restaurant, it says these doors may not be locked anytime the business is open. Storage rooms, restrooms, closets, sometimes bedrooms, rooms that are more susceptible to fire hazards, kitchen, fire rooms, etc. Okay, there are 4 main types of exits. You have exterior exit doors, enclosed exit stairs, horizontal exits, and exits passageways. Remember, at the end of the exit access is an exit. Separated from all spaces of the building, typically enclosed and rated exit, is a stairway, and fire-rated walls, rated doors, and other rated through penetrations may make an exit protected way of travel. Typically, a fire rating for an exit is 1 to 2 hours. So we talked about if you go through this would be an exit, even though these are the stairs and we don't get outside to the till we get to the bottom of the stairs. But this is your exit. Okay, talk about exit stairs. It's the most common type of exit, especially when you have multiple floors. It is a protected enclosure. It is totally enclosed and must be constructed of rated materials, and doors must swing in the direction of the exit discharge. So you can see the example here, how it swings into the stairwell. Now, in addition to, I want to point out, in your IBC code book, if you look at, there's a whole section on stairways. Under section 1007, you see, of course, stairways in order to be considered an accessible means of egress here. So you need to look up a lot of the different parts of a stairway. Go to the back of your IBC code book, look up exit stairs, and it will give you every page that you need to be familiar with. Okay, so this is kind of what I've been showing you in the book. Plan A is a 1-story. So it's real easy because we can have this rated, and this could be an area of refuge, and this could be an area of refuge, because the size, of course, of this particular room requires 3 exits. We have 1 here to the outside, 1 here, but then we have it where it goes into an intervening space, into another room, and then exits out here. This particular space requires 2 exits. Here's 1, And of course this goes out, and you can then have two other ways of getting out. But notice, because it has an exit, you'll notice the doors, there's an additional door, because one door is going to be swinging in the way that you get out of the building. So you can see that here. See, there's two doorways going two different directions. You see on the PowerPoint, going two different directions. Plan B indicates the horizontal exits between the rated walls of a building core and the exterior wall. So this is the rated wall. You see it, rated wall. And there's a rated wall here. Okay. This particular space requires two exits. So it's saying that you can go through this particular space, or you can go to this exit, which goes to stairs, which are rated. It's a stair enclosure. So you'll notice how direction that you're going, the doorways go in that direction. Plan C demonstrates a structural feature that bridges to another building. So here we are, we're in one building A. Exterior walls are rated, of course, and the doors are swinging into this other building, which would be an area of refuge within that building. Okay, horizontal exits. That's kind of like the last example I showed you. Codes specify how to determine the additional area that must be provided in the area of refuge to hold the occupants who come through that horizontal exit. These depends on the occupant load. Typical factor, remember, is 3 square feet per person. For those confined to beds, it's 30 square feet, because sometimes you have hospitals. That's why you end up seeing hospitals having, of course, a firewall in between, because you cannot roll them downstairs. You can't have a big enough area in that hospital to be able to do it. So it's like rolling it to a different part of the hospital, or through a, as we said, the bridge part to get to another building. Strict requirements on components. Walls must be continuous. They must be equally rated 2 hours, and doors must be rated 1.5 hours, and swing in the direction of exit. Remember, horizontal exits cannot serve as the only exit in any case. There has to be an additional one. Okay, so here are some examples. Going back, they're in your textbook, but I just want to explain. So here is an exit passageway, okay, but here's your stairs, rated stairs. Same as your exit stair width, connecting exit stairs to an exterior exit. So you've come down the stairway, you're going on, this is the first floor. These people are exiting out here, and you're both exiting out the door. Okay? Extending exit stairs. So sometimes you may end up having an exit access corridor. You have rating of exits passageway not less than 1 hour. Okay? And of course, determined by the width of the exit access. And then you have your stairs. This would be your exit. Then in Plan C, it's extending exterior exit. So you have an exit access corridor, a rating of an exit passageway, which is not less than 1 hour, width determined by width of exit access, and then your exit. And then Plan D, of course, is rating of exterior passageway. We're connecting, of course, to another tenant. So we have a tenant here. This is a rated exit passageway, not less than 1 hour, a lobby or something to be able to get out to the exterior. Okay. So elevators, there are two types: freight passengers, not used, counted, and cannot, or counted as required means of egress. In the event of a fire, firefighters may use the elevators linked to buildings, smoke alarms, etc. Firefighters can use them with key for rescue. If you look at IBC Chapter 30, that talks about emergency operations, which we'll get into later on. Areas of refuge. That's an area where one or more people can wait safely and assist in through here. You're going to find this in areas of refuge in 107.6 in your IBC code book. You've got to look through that and understand. It tells you exactly if it's in near the elevator or it's the size of it within the stairway. Read that and understand it. It's typically also known as defend in place. Typically, areas provide safety which are fully enclosed. So what we've got to do in looking at this, the number of wheelchair spaces determined by the occupant load. Typically one space, remember, for every 200 occupants. Minimum dimensions, as you see in the IBC code, is 30 inches by 48 inches, required to be clearly identified, and you have to have a two-way emergency communication system. ADA uses the term area of rescue assistance. Remember exit discharge. This is kind of a review. Part of the means of exit that's connected to an exit with a public way. Older buildings, a fire escape is described as exit discharge. Width of an exit discharge typically dictated by the width of the exit, but accessibility requirements must be taken into consideration. When more than one exit leads into exit discharge, width of exit discharge is the sum of the exit widths. Okay, very important. That means it's going to enlarge normally if the number gets there. So going back to this floor plan that we've already reviewed, I just want you to understand the difference between exit access, your exits, exit discharge, and public way. So review that one more time. Remember the arrangement of exits, your diagonal method, and your travel distance. So this is just a quick recap before we go into the last video.